Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
This is the next search on February 28, 2020, 7:44 p.m. How, period, does the FBI find people? And people misspelled P-E-O-O-P-L-E. Did the defendant find out how the FBI finds people in this case? Oh, she found out.
What more do you need to see? Because he's the guy.
You guys, welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. We're going to make a quick one tonight because we just had breaking news. We're supposed to be in bed right now. I'm sorry. We're supposed to be asleep. The podcast was great. If you missed it, you have to watch it on the replay. But I even told my podcast partner, I told Thomas, I said, when this broke, he said, holy cow, he read it to me. And I said, he said, are you going to go live with it? And I said, no, it's too late. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I've got to go live. I cannot believe this. You guys have got to hear this. We can't wait till the morning. It's going to be quick. It's going to be quick. It's almost like we'll have the music playing nonstop. And once again, thanks to our amazing mods. Amber, thank you so much for this. Thomas, thank you. I actually heard it first through Thomas because I wasn't paying attention to any other sources. But all right, here we go. Let's turn this down just a tiny bit. We'll turn this down. We have to say this. Denise, yes, breaking news from Amber. Thank you very much. Denise Feldman-Ersland says, what? Well, I can tell you what, Denise, you're first in chat. You just won the internet. You didn't know it was coming, but you got it. Congratulations, Denise. We're gonna jump right in because we have some news in the Sarah Boone case. For those of you that have been following this, we've had issues with Sarah Boone quite a while. She's had issues. She's had trouble with court. Basically, she's had trouble getting to court or trouble with court getting to her. It depends how you view the issue, right? It depends how you view it. And so here we are. We have an update that just got filed tonight in the court down there in Orange County. We'll bring it to you. I'm going to read it to you. We're going to talk about it briefly, and then we'll let you mull it over while we try to get some sleep because we all need that. But here we go. This is a motion to withdraw. A motion for reassignment of court-appointed case. This is from... Comes now, Winston E. Hobson, Esquire. This is attorney number 7 for Sarah Boone. Her 7th attorney comes now Winston E. Hobson, Esquire, the undersigned court-appointed attorney, and files this motion for withdrawal and reassignment, and states, the counsel was duly appointed and filed his notice of appearance and demand for discovery. The accused is charged in the above-styled case with the second-degree murder in violation of Florida statute. Counsel has met with the accused at the jail and in video visits and has continued to work and has continued the prior work begun by prior attorneys in this matter, and has also consulted with experts to appropriately position the case in the best interest of the accused, given the facts and the allegations and the accusations. Irreconcilable differences, including, but not limited to, ethical considerations, have arisen in this case between the defendant and counsel, and it is in the best interest of the defendant that counsel be allowed to withdraw and the case reassigned to other counsel in his stead. Wherefore, counsel moves his honorable court to grant this motion and enter an order accordingly, especially as to appointing counsel given the needs of the case, age of the case, and the stage of the case. By Winston Hobson, Esquire. He wants out. He wants out, and he uses the line we've seen so many times before in other attorneys, irreconcilable differences. This irreconcilable differences means there's something we see this in divorce court all the time. This is the reason why a couple cannot be together. We have to, completely, separate this couple. The marriage has to end because there are irreconcilable differences. That means there is a position held by one person that is untenable for the other side. The relationship cannot continue because they can't bridge that gap. They can't come to an agreement. at what point do you have to look at this and say it's not them, it's me? I'm asking. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude to Sarah Boone, but it sounds like to me that Sarah Boone really, really, really wants a specific defense put forward in her case, and that defense probably goes along the lines of it wasn't intentional. And every lawyer out there looks at the facts in the case and says, maybe we'll look at insanity. Maybe we'll look at battered wife. There's some other things that might play a little bit better in court than the it wasn't intentional bit, because we have a video we have to deal with that you filmed of George in the suitcase begging for air and you mocking him. And that is, it just flies in the face of intentional just a wee bit too much. That's something we just can't get over. And so every lawyer, and this is my take on this, every lawyer is trying the best. And Mr. Hobson here puts it beautifully. He says that he is at the end of paragraph 2. He says, counsel has met with the accused at jail and in video visits and has continued the work begun by prior attorneys in this matter. That's what he's supposed to do. He's consulted with experts to appropriately position the case in the best interest of the accused, given the facts and the allegations and the accusations. So he has to take the facts that he has. He has to take the allegations that are there, and he has to use what is there. He's trying to play the cards he was dealt. And Sarah Boone wants to play the get out of jail free card, and it's not in his hand. It's not in his hand, and he cannot do that. And he says, I can't. In good conscience, I can't do this. I cannot do this. And so every single attorney is basically telling her no. And that's not the way it's going to go. I'm going to try my best to get you the best possible outcome here in trial, but it's going to be a different case than the one that you were expecting. And she's probably going to want to testify on the stand. And that could be a nightmare when you have a fight between the defendant and the attorney and they're testifying in their own case. It's going to be a mess. Can she be forced to go pro se? I don't think they can. No, you have the right to an attorney. But this might actually play out in Sarah Boone's favor, because I have a big, big problem with how long this has gone on, with how long she has sat in jail without her day in court. The whole Constitution, we've got these protections where we can't just be held indefinitely. Okay, and I realize that on paper she's waived her right to an attorney. She waived her right to a speedy trial, and that was done way back in 2011, or I don't know. It seems like forever ago. 2021, I think, in November of. I'll have to check the date, but she's filed for a waiver of speedy trial, but she says she's never signed it, that she's never authorized anyone to sign it, and that's one of those things that she has to be involved in, and her attorney cannot just make that decision for her. And if there's no paperwork, and I can't see it in the court records. I've gone through the Orange County court records a million times. I have not seen the paperwork that says that she's signed this. It says it's there, but if it's not there, and she's never waived her right to a speedy trial, she might just be one good lawyer move away from getting a I go free card. I don't know. It's how many lawyers have asked to withdraw? Taylor, at this point, I think we have to go back through and look at all the lawyers and why they withdrew. It's not every lawyer asked to withdraw because of irreconcilable differences. I think we've got 3 that did irreconcilable differences. We have one that withdrew because Sarah was going to get private attorney, and then she didn't, and then she got assigned to somebody else, and they couldn't because they represented her, the deceased in a case. There's another one where they represented one of the witnesses in a case that would be called, and that would be a conflict. So we had a couple conflicts. We've had some people who said, "Please, judge, please let me off," and begged for this, and the judge is like, "Hey, you need to show proof," and they had to beg several times before they got off. But here at this point, I don't think the judge will allow it because of the very things that's in the wherefore clause down at the bottom, where he says, "Wherefore counsel moves this honorable court to grant this motion and enter order accordingly, especially as to appointing counsel given the needs of the case, the age of the case, and the stage of the case." Those last 2, the age and the stage, This is the 11th hour. Okay, we are just a few days. I think it's scheduled for March or May. I don't remember anymore. A few days away from this case being on the books, and the judge has said we will not move it again. And now this attorney is saying, please, judge, anybody but me. I mean, is there anybody else on the list? Man. Oh, let's see. Amber says, I have all the attorney swaps that I can send you. We did a live stream a while back where we went over all the switches. May 13th. Thank you, Ashley, for that. May 13th is the new date. I think there's actually a hearing, like a pretrial hearing, a week or so before that, just to make sure everything's on schedule. Clearly, there's going to be a new hearing. This is what's going to happen next. Now that the lawyer has filed this, there's going to be the judge is going to make some room on his docket, right? He's gonna wiggle around a little bit and slide this in and call Mr. Hobson in and say, look, you've got to explain this, okay? What is going on? And Mr. Hobson is going to say, Your Honor, I can't explain it. Attorney-client privilege. I can't tell you why, but please just believe me. Please just believe me when I say this cannot work. Please don't make me do this. And then the judge gets to decide, because Mr. Hobson, as badly as he wants off, he is not allowed to. He will have to he'd have to retire or move out of state or something like that to get out of this case, because the judge controls if he leaves or not. A.D. Kemp says, sir, are you aware of the time? Yes, I've been in this chair all day. I'm very much aware. It's late. I need to go to bed. This just broke in the news. Thank you for all those who made me aware of it. I appreciate that. Sarah Boone has attorney number 7, who we thought it was working well. I mean, we had one letter. Where she's like, well, I've only seen him one time in 113 days, and we've made some progress. We thought it was a good thing, but this stream is Amber's fault. Please blame Amber. But we thought it was going to happen. And now this could cause another delay, another big delay. So, all right. Any questions on this one before we wrap it up? It's going to be short. You guys all should be asleep. What are you doing awake at a night like this? What are you doing awake? I'm asking the same question. I think my wife's already gone to bed, and she's said, unless I probably need to hurry up, or else I get to sleep on the couch. So. At this point, I'll represent her, and I have no legal experience, says Ashley. Ashley, the problem is, Ashley, she wants to be involved in her case. You've seen that in every single letter, and I don't fault her for that. This is one of her rights. But she doesn't get to decide everything that happens in the case. Just like we've used the analogy of the doctor before. When you go to a doctor and say, hey, I'm feeling sick, check me out. What do I need to do? The doctor checks out your symptoms, consults his vast knowledge and maybe, some other sources as well, and they say, hey, you're dealing with XYZ malady. And here's how we're going to fix it. And he lays out the groundwork, and he says, you're going to take this medication for this long, and you're going to get some rest and take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning, whatever his plan is. But the doctor makes that plan. The lawyer makes the plan in this case. And Sarah Boone doesn't like the plan. You can tell they have irreconcilable differences. What else could they have irreconcilable differences of? They're not talking about sports teams. Right? There's not, it's like, he's a 49ers fan, and I cannot have a 49ers fan representing me. That's not what it is. There's only one issue at play here, and that is her defense and how it will go forward in the case. And if they have irreconcilable differences, they cannot be on the same page. And if she wants to testify, and what she says is going to go against what he is setting up as her best defense based on the facts, that is an irreconcilable difference. And we've seen it over and over now in her case. We might have somebody who decides to go pro se. She has to make that call, but decides to go pro se on her own. Another lawyer is attempting to withdraw. They're begging for permission. They require permission. If this was a hired lawyer, they could say, look, I quit. And generally, it would be a lot easier for them to get off the case. But this is one who's been assigned, and they literally have been ordered to represent this client. And they need the judge's permission to withdraw. And it might not happen. It might go forward, and it might be a train wreck, because the lawyer's going to do everything he can based on the evidence, based on the best possible defense he can put forward, and then his own client might sabotage everything he does when she says, yes, I do want to testify, and I want to tell the true story that he hasn't been telling you. I can see it play out now. That's my take on this. That's how I think it's going to go. I don't know that for sure. I'm trying to read the tea leaves and between the lines on this. But I think she wants to testify and is saying, no, I'm going to tell him the truth, and it wasn't intentional. All right. This is the last time we have to wrap up. It has been a long day. Thanks to everybody who joined us on the original live stream as we followed the Crumbly trial with Jennifer Crumbly. Thanks for those who joined us on the podcast tonight. And now we see a few familiar faces back with us again with this breaking news from the Sarah Boone trial, as we've been following all the updates for what seems like years now. But all right, 8:15 tomorrow morning. That's when it starts. You want to be here? Please do so. Get some rest. Justice for George, says Gene Anderson. George was her boyfriend, the deceased in the Sarah Boone case. It's almost a joke, but will she be able to find any lawyers that represent her? It's crazy. You guys, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Thanks to all the great mods. Weather Watch. I'm sorry. I just hung up from talking with him at the podcast saying that I was not going to go live. It was too late, and then I just went live. I didn't even tell him. I'm sorry, man. I apologize. I lied to you. I changed my mind at the last minute. But here we are. We're going to go to bed now. Thanks, you guys. Tonight when you go home, what's left of tonight. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone. Make their day just a little bit better. And please stay safe till we go live in just a few hours tomorrow morning. Amber promises she's not going to send me anything else, so we're not going to have another live tonight. Good night. Get some rest. We'll see you in the morning. Be good to each other. We'll see you.